Last week, the Supreme Court accepted an appeal on the assault weapons ban out of Macon County. Tomorrow, oral arguments in the Safety Act case. How do you feel? Are you concerned with these two major pieces of legislation that you find hanging in the balance based on what the court decided?
Well, I know, it's the last refuge of those who can't win at the ballot box to take something to court to try to have it overturned, even though they are wrong when they say it's unconstitutional. As you know, this is the law, at least talking about the assault weapons ban, it's the law in 8 other states. Illinois is simply the 9th, and we're trying to protect people. It doesn't protect people everywhere all the time for, from firearms, but it does protect a percentage of people, and I think we'll do something to keep the people of Illinois safe. And I think the Supreme Court is going to give it a fair hearing, but I can tell you that all the lawyers and people who are involved in crafting the legislation feel confident that it'll come out the right way.
And on cash bail, what's at stake if the court overturns the law that
I don't.
Now, if it wasn't for all of these backwards, dumbass, so-called, what you would call Negroes in the background, I probably wouldn't have made this video. This Original Lone Wolf coming at y'all real quick, man. Let me give y'all an update to this assault weapons ban shit that's been going on here since they signed this bullshit overnight. Back in January 10th of this year. Let me give y'all a quick update. First off, let me say this. Kudos to the people who are willing to stand up and that have been fighting back in this state, right down to the sheriff's departments throughout the state of Illinois. I do like to give credit where credit is due. And, despite me not having the best feelings for law enforcement, I do respect the fact that sheriffs have filed a federal case in federal court in regards to this ban and in regards to how they're dead set against enforcing it. And they've made it clear since the day they signed that bullshit, from that day to now, the sheriff's department, damn near every sheriff's department in the state of Illinois, and we talking about 102 sheriff's department. It's 102 counties in Illinois. You got 102 sheriffs. 85 to 95% of them, it was like, no, we're not doing this. And so they have filed a federal court case. So you've got roughly, I don't know, man, shit. You probably got altogether maybe 7 or 8 different cases that have been filed against this shit that they're doing. Now, it has also come out that Pritzker has donated $1 million apiece to 2 Supreme Court judges. All right? The way it worked was like this. The case that was filed in Macon County in a federal court, the judge deemed it unconstitutional, what Pritzker and them is trying to do. Pritzker is the defendant in all of these cases. Him and his sidekick, Kwame Raoul, who's the Attorney General for Illinois. Y'all already know I ain't got no love for that nigga. I reached out to that punk when they took my son from me. But anyway, they are the defendants in all of these cases. So you got the judge down in Macon County like, nope, this is unconstitutional. So they have filed an appeal with the state Supreme Court, right? The Illinois State Supreme Court. 2 of these punks that sit on the panel for the Illinois Supreme Court, Pritzker gave $1 million apiece to. All right? So basically, he bought and paid for 2 of these motherfuckers to be judges for the Supreme Court of Illinois. So now there's this thing that they're talking about if these 2 judges are going to recuse themselves, right? I can't see that happening, me personally. If you go back to the Bruin decision, they've already clearly stated that you can't just go around banning shit that's in common use. I forgot what department it was, but somebody just came after the head of the ATF. We're going to see what's going to happen with this pistol brace shit. Because there's also been a court case, I can't think of the name of it, but it was against the EPA, where the Supreme Court ruled that entities like EPA and shit don't get to just make up rules. You know, laws and shit are to be made by Congress, not by some entity like the EPA, right? So now you got them coming after the ATF for the very same reason. Keep in mind, the pistol brace is a rule. It has nothing to do with Congress, because I had to look into the shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about at first. I really didn't. And basically, it's just a shoulder stock from what I'm seeing. I mean, just from, you know, I personally don't like short barrel, or what they call SBRs. I personally don't like them. That's one of the reasons why I carry 357 Magnums. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a short barrel rifle. I don't need that. Give me 16 inches or better. I'll take 20. I'll take a full-blown M1A if I can find one. You know what I'm saying? With the rear sight on the handle that's built onto the rifle itself that you can carry by the handle and shit. I'll take a full-blown M1A if I can get my hands on one. Straight up. I'm talking about off the rip. No questions asked. Right? But when it comes down to short barrel rifles and all that, I personally, like I say, 357 Magnums, depending on what you load it down with and depending on what kind of size barrel you got, you right there with an SBR. And Lord forbid if you shooting a 4.4, right? So for me, that's not ideal. But once I learned what they was talking about, I'm like, oh, this some bullshit. Basically, it's just a removable shoulder stock is from what I'm looking at. And most of the shit plastic, some of them flip out where you fold them out or something like that. And it's like, oh, that's the shit they talking about. It's like, how y'all gonna do that? No wonder they calling it a rule. So there's a lot of shit that's going on, right? And I'm gonna reiterate something that I told y'all a while back. Right now, we are in the diplomacy phase. Everybody's trying to be diplomatic. They want to use the courts. They want to try to sue people and, you know, this, that, and the other. I'm in the process of using the courts for some shit that I'm about to do. So I ain't hating. You know what I'm saying? But right now we're in the diplomacy phase. It's not going to work. I hate to be the jerk. I hate to be negative and, you know, oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, I hate to be that guy, but it's not going to work. There's going to be a war. And this is whether if I'm alive to see it or not. There's going to be a war. They tinkering around with the banks. They done closed down another bank. They did Silicon Valley first. And then they did the other one, what was it, Signature Group Bank or some other shit that they just did the same way. So we're going to see how that stuff works. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, this is not over. These people are not going away. This is why I get so irritated. You know what I'm saying? These people are not going away. You got all these backwards Negroes on here. Let me turn this around so you can see this. Look at all these dumbass Negroes you got standing up here supporting this man. And then to make it so bad, this is the other part that people don't pay no attention to. When they always blaming gun violence in Illinois, they always blame Chicago. You know who they blaming, right? You do know it's our people that they're blaming. You do know that, right? Like, I'm just saying. And you got all these clowns back here. You got baby girl over here draped with all the pearls and shit over here to the right. Straight up Eastern Star. Chick to the far right. And I wouldn't doubt that the chick standing next to her in the red or whatever color that is with that long fake ass weave she got, I wouldn't doubt that she an Eastern Star too. But the chick that's standing to the left of her, sure enough, she got pearls everywhere. Everywhere. And I'm just pointing out how sad our people are. How sad. We just sad. And they look sad. 9 times out of 10, that ain't none of their real hair. Tons of makeup on. The chick standing to the far left, she just looking off into the distance. The one with all the pearls on. And she even got the diamond that connect one end of the one pearl to the other one. Like, our people are pathetic, man. And I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. You know why? Because our people is our problem. Whether if they live in a house with us, whether if they related to us, whether if we work with them, or just people in general that are our people. Our people are fucking pathetic. And it's sad. It ain't this many niggas in Springfield all together. These motherfuckers you got standing back here. And then you got this punk, he done paid $2 million, $1 million per judge. 2 judges he gave $1 million a piece to. For their campaign thingy or whatever when they was trying to fucking get on the bench. And it's pretty ironic. You know what I'm saying? Now the one lawyer, DeVore, now it makes sense what he was talking about when he was saying the dude Calkins, which is the guy that filed the lawsuit in Macon County. Now it makes sense when he said that dude is rushing to go to the Supreme Court. The way that the other, because it's like I said, it's so many cases that's being filed. It's so many cases that's being filed at one time. You know what I'm saying? To give you an idea of how there's so much pushback. A lot of people have pushed back on this, including, like I said, the county sheriffs. And at the very least, this is going to the United States Supreme Court, to say the least. Because what I want to know is how are they going to respond to these sheriffs filing this federal lawsuit? How are they going to respond to that? Far as I'm concerned, that's more powerful than all of the other lawsuits. They got about 3 or 4 different federal cases. No, it's like 2 or 3 federal cases, and it's like 3 or 4 state cases right now. Well, one of them they just decided, the one down in Macon County. That's the one where he talking about here, because they appealed it to the Supreme Court, and that's what this punk talking about right here. About, oh yeah, he confident that, you know, blah blah blah, and this, that, and the other. Talking about, oh yeah, it's constitutional, it's legal in 8 other states, and Illinois is just gonna become the 9th. But ain't nobody standing up for them other states either. Cause like how I said, based off that statement he made, like how I said, I'm surprised. I was really surprised at how many people in Illinois was like, fuck you. We not going. I couldn't believe it. But then again, I'm not surprised because theoretically, if you really want to keep it funky, Illinois is really a red state. It really is. It really is. The only thing that make it blue, there's one single solitary thing that make the state of Illinois blue, and that's Chicago. Every time they talk that shit about Chicago, they blaming it on our people. Then they put a motherfucker in there like our people, a woman on top of that, and she did a fucking terrible job by design to continue to make our people look bad. The entire thing with Lori Lightfoot was a shaming ritual. That entire time she was in office, that bitch acted like she couldn't do nothing right. And that was by design. When you call for the part, you play your part the way the role was scripted. You dig? Now, she'll probably be paid somewhere or sitting in some underground bunker and shit off the edge of Chicago, some fucking where, or whatever the fuck those weirdos do. But at the end of the day, she played her role. It's no different than the bullshit that went down in Baltimore a few years back when the fucking sister was the mayor of Baltimore and all that other dumb shit. Come out there doing press conferences draped in pearls and shit. Got a fucking Eastern Star and her fucking sorority get up on and shit. Like, man, we need to put a stop to this shit. Cause it's a bunch of bullshit. At the end of the day, all they doing is trying to take away things that is rightfully belonging to the people. Straight up. And it's a damn shame. It is a damn shame. You don't never see these many so-called colored folk around like that unless they have an agenda. You ever notice when the mayor of any city is speaking or whatever, they always got some sort of colored person, some sort of black person standing behind them? You ever notice that shit? Like, we just sad, man. Sad as fuck. And half of these motherfuckers don't even care. The chick over here to the far left, she got a wig on. That's a big ass wig. Like I said, ain't none of them even really sporting their real hair. Maybe the chick standing behind the girl that got the wrap on. The chick in the front that got her hair wrapped up. Maybe the woman behind her, maybe that's her real hair. But this chick to the far left and the chick with the red pantsuit on over here to the right, that is not their hair. And 9 times out of 10, that's a big dumb phony pony the bride with the fucking pearls got on as well. And they just standing up there tacky as hell. You got the one brother standing back there with the suit on looking retarded. You got my man standing behind the chick with the red pantsuit on with his hair sticking straight up. I don't know if he did that on purpose. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know, is that symbolic or what? I don't know. All I know is we look like some damn fools standing up there. And don't none of them motherfuckers represent me. None of them motherfuckers you see standing right there represent the Lone Wolf. And you got all this bullshit going on. And there's a very good chance, y'all, keep this in mind, because I've been kind of keeping my eye on this shit a little bit. There is a very good chance they may overturn this shit. Because I've never heard of a sheriff's association getting involved with some sort of new bullshit policy that they just drafted out. I've never heard of a sheriff's association getting involved. I've never heard of that. And they went straight to the feds. And what's so ironic and so funny about it is, like, if you think about it, it's funny as hell, because at least they in the Constitution. The ATF ain't in there. Neither is the EPA. The FBI either. You dig what I'm saying? At least the fucking sheriff is a part of the Constitution. There's only 2 lawmen. I keep trying to tell people that. They don't want to hear it. I tell them, go read the Constitution. There's only 2 lawmen in the Constitution. One is the sheriff, and the other one is the marshal. And this is why that's all you saw in them Westerns, TV shows and all them Western movies they used to make back in the day and shit. Them damn Clint Eastwood Westerns and all that bullshit with the Duke and all that. All the movies you ever saw, it was none but the fucking sheriff and the marshal. But anyway, it's the original Lone Wolf, man. I'm going to get up out of here. This shit is sickening, man. Our people are sickening. They like some damn fools standing back there. They really do. It's a fucking shame. It's the original Lone Wolf, man. It's a lot of drama going on in Illinois, man. Much love to y'all.